Hello everyone, welcome back to Modern FNM. Oh,
more Eldrazi Tron.
Modern Eldrazi Tron.
But on the left here, Andrew Tefft playing Intruder.
So we selected
Alarm.
this match because of the deck on the left. Unfortunately, it was again against Eldrazi Tron. But
so my guess is that Andrew will actually win this really hard.
Yeah, because Eldrazi Tron is not known for its interaction.
Yeah. So the thing about Intruder Alarm, so Andy's been telling me a lot about this deck for the past couple of months. He's really excited to finally be playing it. What he does is he plays the card Intruder Alarm, and then makes a bunch of creatures enter your battlefield. Yeah, he can do a lot of things. He can generate a bunch of mana by untapping mana guys, and he can Kiki Jiki you. Really cool deck. Can we get the card Intruder Alarm up on the screen? What it says is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your opponent's control, untap all creatures you control. So he's playing cards like Forbidden Orchard to put guys into play for you. He's playing cards like Nest Invader.
Yeah, we're live now, Riley. Cool.
Oh, it's whenever a creature comes into play on any side of the field.
Yeah, anywhere.
So he's playing cards like Nest Invader. He's playing Dryad Arbor because that's kind of a combo by itself.
We see he has in hand a Kiki Jiki there.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff this deck does.
But of course, he might always lose to the turn 2 Thought-Knots here.
Yeah.
As Nick leads on Eldrazi Temple. Oh, he's playing Aether Vial. Okay. It's seems like the best start for him. Nick does not have the turn 2 Thought-Knots here. Instead, it's a Matter Reshaper, which is a lot more manageable.
Yeah, I'm fine with that if I'm Andrew. That card doesn't really do anything in this matchup.
Yeah, it just blocks. Which probably is not relevant in the end of things. Okay, well, Andy is also on Basic Island Double Chord Kiki Jiki. I'm not too sure how well the mana works in this deck.
Well, he can Kiki Jiki once Aether Vial gets to 5, so that's a thing.
That's a
Kosi's Trickster.
A Kosi's Trickster.
Whenever
a player searches a library?
Yeah.
All right.
I believe that's what that is.
Mark, who's got the favorite deck in this matchup? Riley Cold asks you.
Who's favored? Oh, I'm pretty sure Andrew's favored. That's my guess.
Although on the Just Island draw, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that could be tough. But hey, he's got a Kosi's Trickster in play.
That's true. If Nick goes to fetch up his temple, better bet he finds that +1/+1 counter. Yeah, the turn 3 Thought-Knots here. Yeah, definitely got to violate our birds before this resolves. And Andy's hand is just a pile of crap, basically. So whatever.
So Kiora's follower, Beckon Call.
If you're in Nick's seat right now and you don't know what Andy's playing, you have literally no idea. Like, you see Kiki Jiki, so you're probably like, all right, some sort of combo deck. And then you also see Beckon Call and Chord when he's on Just Island.
Yeah, this is a bizarre pile of cards. It's almost unfathomable. Like, it's like, is he playing Merfolk? Right, he's got 2 Merfolk.
Yeah, that's true. Kiora's follower is a Merfolk,
yeah,
right?
He's got 2 Merfolk, a Vial, and an Island, but he's got a bird, 2 Chords, and a Kiki. Like, what is this hand? But
so he took the Kiora's follower and he drew another
Aether Vial.
Aether Vial.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, things are not looking great as he's staring down 7 power from Nick's hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Andrew kept this hand. Like, you can keep a hand on the strength of Vial in some cases, but Vial and birds here doesn't seem to be
if he had like Forest to cast his birds on turn 1, then maybe Forest and Island, I could see that.
Right.
But the second Vial doesn't do much, and Kosi's Trickster also not. So what is the purpose of Kosi's Trickster here? Can he search his library an infinite number of times?
That's a really good question.
It must be, right? He can search his library an infinite number of times, fail to find every time, and then get an infinitely large Kosi's Trickster, I guess. But Nick just with the perfect Eldrazi curve here.
How would you do that? Like,
well, something that taps to search your life. Oh, but you'd have to get another permanent in play. Yeah, I don't know.
It could be that he has an Emrakul in here, and that you get infinite draws somehow, and that infinite draws means you can continually put Emrakul back and shuffle.
That's possible, I guess.
Is Kosi's whenever you search or shuffle?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think it's when you shuffle.
Maybe it's probably shuffle, yeah.
I think it's shuffle, but what does that change exactly?
It makes the Emrakul plan possible.
Right, if you have infinite draws and you continually you can basically shortcut and say, I'm going to shuffle my deck 18 times because I'm going to draw all these Emrakul's.
Oh, it also has an effect where you reveal the top card of your library if you spend a mana and tap it.
Maybe that's not Kosi's Trickster. Is that our problem here?
Yeah, I don't think that is. It seems to be some sort of card.
It might be like a Dakra Mystic or
Each
something.
player draws the top card of his library. So that's the infinite combo, right? You have 1 mana and you have that. You can tap it as many times as you want.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, not a Kosi's Trickster. Sorry, everyone.
What that is. What is this card?
I think is it Dakra Mystic? That sounds like a card that does that.
I'm not
But
familiar with Dakra Mystic.
I actually don't know.
I am familiar with these Eldrazi, and I'm also certain that Andy is dead next turn because he has not drawn another land. And just, hey, can I cast a single card? Well, he can cast another version of whatever that blue creature is, but that is not going to do anything for him. So not a great showing here in game 1 from 5-color Intruder Alarm.
I was right. That is a Dakra Mystic.
Okay.
Let me read Dakra Mystic. Can we get Dakra Mystic on the screen here, please? Or Intruder Alarm?
We had Intruder Alarm.
Oh, we did? Okay. Dakra Mystic is a 1-mana 1/1. Each player reveals the top card of his or her library. You may put that revealed card into their owner's graveyard. Oh, you can put it into the graveyards. If you don't, each player draws a card.
So it's like Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Sure, let's go with it. It's like Deathrite Shaman meets Jason Mind Sculptor.
Right.
A 1-mana efficient body with a great ability. Okay, well, so that was not exactly the Intruder Alarm start we wanted to see, but I'm having fun for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely finding some new cards here. Like Dakra Mystic. I've never heard of this card. It's from Journey into Nyx.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember, I enjoyed that card. A lot of the uncommons from the Theros block were really like underrated as like just not for like competitive play or anything, but just for how cool they were.
Yeah, they have some cool effects.
And this is a good example.
Well, hopefully Handy brought his Ceremonious Rejections.
Sure.
Because I don't really know. And that just looked like, I mean, Nick had the perfect curve there. It's hard for many decks to beat an Eldrazi curve like that unless you have like a Ghost Quarter or something, but he just did not look set up to deal with that. Like even if Andy curved out with lands, like his deck was still too slow for that.
Yeah, if Nick's turn 1 play was an Eldrazi Mimic, that's about the only way it could have been.
Sure, yeah.
More like Eldrazi Winter.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't have an Urborg to play his Blight Herder on turn 3 or whatever.
I mean, what else? I'm guessing if Andy has some removal if he's on every color, could have anything. Could have a roast. Could have a path, I guess.
So I've actually, hear me out here. For decks that don't have access to good removal, like a Teamer style deck, tell me what you think about the card Singing Bellstrike compared to Roast. Isn't it just better in most cases?
Does Singing Bellstrike give your team +3/+3 flying and double strike or something?
No.
What is Singing Bellstrike? It's a card from Dragons.
You're
right?
you're thinking of Flying Crane technique.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes, definitely.
Singing Bellstrike is
those.
Singing Bellstrike is a 2-mana enchantment. Tap your guy. It doesn't untap unless you pay 6.
Okay, there are much better cards than that, but I understand where you're coming from.
2 mana? No.
Yeah, there's like 2-mana Claustrophobias, aren't there?
No, there are no. Yeah, but they don't tap the creature, so they still get an attack out of it. And none of them are that. Singing Bellstrike is the most aggressively costed effect that's playable of that kind that actually taps the creature.
Does it draw you a card?
No, if only.
If it drew you a card, maybe.
But in most cases, Singing Bellstrike is legitimately better than Roast.
Something down.
Yeah,
sure.
You got to pay 6 to untap, and Roast misses a whole lot of key creatures. The only downside to Singing Bellstrike is 1, it gets hit by Abrupt Decay. I mean there are a few downsides, but Abrupt Decay is the big one. But I'm a fan of the card.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of the Flying Crane technique, not the Singing Bellstrike.
I think that's a 6-mana sorcery, right? Give your guys +3/+3 flying and lifelink or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was a really terrible bulk rare.
Oh yeah.
In those days, you knew you were gonna not enjoy opening packs.
Your Jeskai rare.
Yeah.
Like that's the only Jeskai card you have.
I'm not even sure that card was good and limited. I mean,
I don't know.
You'd have to have a board.
I guess if you also had Mantis Rider, it'd be pretty good.
Well, Mantis Rider already has flying.
Yeah, but then you're playing Jeskai for sure. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we see a better showing from Intruder Alarm here in game 2. Looks like Nick is gonna mulligan. He was thinking about it. Seems to be on just Eldrazi Temple. All right, Andy has a Noble Hierarch and I think a way to play it on turn 1. So that seems a lot better.
Yeah, that's key. That's key.
And Nick is going to mulligan, so that's also key.
So think if Andy does this. Think if he goes turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 play Docker Mystic, and then turn 3 swing for 2.
Wow. Can't imagine it.
It's funny, actually, how much this deck resembles blue-green Merfolk, right? There are actually blue-green Merfolk players who are cutting Aether Vial and playing Noble Hierarch instead.
Sure.
And that if you're playing that sort of blue-green Merfolk deck, that's about half the cards.
Do you play Docker Mystic and blue-green Merfolk? No.
No.
So you got 1 out of 2.
Do you play Kior's Follower? Not sure.
So Andy has a Cavern here. Cavern has to name. Does he name Human or Druid? That's our first guess. And then, is there any other card in his deck that he can cast off of it? Actually, yeah. So he's playing. He's playing a.
Did you actually see a Cavern?
Oh, no, that's not Cavern.
Yeah, that's the Forbidden Orchard. That's the best card in the deck.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's necessary. Right. So there's his colorless
I think
spirit.
Forbidden Orchard literally is the best card in the deck.
Yeah, that's probably true. You can trigger your Oath of Druids, right?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Oh man.
Trigger the Intruder.
Oh man.
Pithing Needle. What is it? What did he name?
He has to have named Noble Hierarch, right?
It doesn't hit mana abilities.
No.
Pithing Needle doesn't hit mana
so
abilities.
It's different. Yeah. He named Aether Vial. That makes sense. I thought it just could name lands. I thought that, but it can name lands. It just can't name mana abilities, right? That's the difference. So it looks like he drew the blue-white fast land here. So he's got his mana developed a little bit better. He still has a Chord of Calling in hand, which maybe someday he'll be able to cast that.
Why would you name Aether Vial? If you're Nick, you saw his hand game 1 with a Thought Knot. Don't you just name Kiki Jiki?
Yeah, perhaps. All right, so here is another combo piece. It's new from Hour of Devastation. It's Steward of Solidarity. It's
sweet card.
It's a 2/2 for 2, and then you can exert it and make a 1/1. But with Intruder Alarm, every time you make a 1/1, you get to untap all your creatures. So that makes you infinite 1/1s. Pretty good. And we also got Docker Mystic.
Yeah, the alternative to playing Steward of Solidarity is to play Thraben Doomsayer,
yeah.
But it's just slower and clunkier.
Yeah, and the vigilance. The Warriors have vigilance.
Sure, that's relevant.
Once you make infinite
of course, Thraben Doomsayer has that sweet Fateful Hour clause.
Yes, of course. So Nick has a Warping Whale in hand, which seems real good. And yeah, I think we're just gonna deal with Noble Hierarch. Yep. So away goes that. Exiled by a Warping Whale, and it looks like the rest of Andy's hand is an island, some sort of blue card, which may be Intruder Alarm, so he might just win, and a Chord, which he probably will never be casting. No, I don't think that's Intruder Alarm.
Well, the thing is, you can cast the Chord really easily once you simply make some tokens. You know, if you put out a guy
You
with
have green tokens.
Well, so Forbidden Orchard makes any color.
Yeah, I know.
Which is key.
So we are transmuting Drift of Phantasms to find the Intruder Alarm. Okay. So yeah, actually, if Nick doesn't have an answer to this Steward of Solidarity, so see, it's too bad he didn't just in the blind name Steward of Solidarity with his Pithing Needle. That would stop the combo. I guess if he has another Pithing Needle, he can do that. But yeah, if Andy gets on tap, he will be able to make infinite 1/1 White Soldiers with Vigilance.
You got to play Sorcerer's Spyglass, Nick. You got to play
Well,
Sorcerer's
Nick found
Spyglass.
a Chalice. That doesn't do it.
So that does not help.
He also has 2 Walking Ballistas, but I think the Steward's a 2/2. Not sure.
Yeah, it is.
And he can't cast Ballista for 2 yet. So Ballista for 1 kills Docker Mystic, but that's about it. All right, so it looks like Andy wins.
Yeah.
So real heads-up play there would have been attack with the 3 spirits, hope he blocks, and then ping it for 1 post-combat.
Right.
Hopefully Andy wouldn't fall prey to that, but you know, you might as well make your opponent make the mistake.
Yeah. But he can't block the spirits though.
Why? They don't have flying.
Oh, the spirits from Orchard don't have flying?
No, they're colorless spirits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, shit. They don't even get sacked to all his dust.
No, they do not.
Huge upside
All
here.
right, well, here's
Nick.
infinite 1/1s. Do we have an infinity die? All right, 20 is good enough. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Nick or Andy wins this game.
Yeah, I can't. So Nick,
unless Nick has ensnaring.
Even
Bridge,
if Nick had
likely.
Temple, he still couldn't play all his dust.
Yeah, that does it.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks.
All right. Well, that was a much better showing. In fact, he just won on turn 4.
Like I said, I think this deck is, you know, the thing is, how good would Eldrazi Tron be against Splinter Twin? And the answer is not good. In fact, I still think people could be playing.
Exile Deceiver, Exile with Warping Whale.
People could be playing. Sure. People could be playing Blue-Red Kiki in this meta right now, and I think it would be pretty solid. But that's sort of what
actually, Warping Whale hits all the targets in Blue-Red. It hits Pestermite and hits Deceiver Exarch.
Yeah, because they both have 1 power toughness.
So slightly more relevant than.
But does Eldrazi Tron play 4 Warping Whales?
No, probably 3, maybe 2.
I think it's more like 2.
I think I think most lists play 3.
But is 2 Warping Whales and 2 Dismembers enough for enough to beat the Twin player? I don't know.
Probably not. You could also, I mean, you have the other ways to interact, like with the Pithing Needle, I guess.
Sure.
So what? I didn't play during Splinter Twin. If you Pithing Needle it, what do you name that? Enchantment?
So you name the creature. So no, Splinter Twin gives the creature the ability.
Effect, so you name whatever creature.
But against Kiki, you would just name Kiki.
Right,
obviously.
Sure.
So I don't know what either of them is going to do differently. I think Nick.
Well, Nick is now more informed. So
yeah, I think he knows what to name. That he can name Steward, or he can name. I mean, he still could have named Kiki that game, but.
The thing is, I think Andy has a lot of ways to go infinite, like with that, like more than just Steward. He probably also has Thraben Doomsayer. So there was a list, actually.
I don't think he has Thraben Doom. I think he thought about it, but cut it.
MTG Goldfish featured a list from some random tournament that was about Intruder Alarm this week. The list was probably similar to his. I know, obviously, it wasn't the same.
Oh, well, it was a 4 Horseman list, right?
No, that was last week. It was a Intruder Alarm infinite combo deck with Steward of Solidarity and Thraben Doomsayer in it, and some other stuff. I think it had like Magus of the Moons in it. I don't know. It was weird, but.
Magus of the Moon, huh? Just to get with Cord?
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if it was playing Cord.
I can't think of a good reason to play the Magus, but
I mean, you just win some matchups.
Well, sure, but
like Eldrazi Tron.
But you could say that about any deck. Hey, why don't you just throw some Magus of the Moons into your Jund deck?
Yeah, you might as well. Jund plays Blood Moon
sometimes it'll win you the game.
Jund Moon. So that was a real quick. I mean, that was a turn 4 win on Andy's end. Could have been turn. No, it couldn't have been. Well, it could have been turn 3 if he just naturally had the Intruder Alarm as opposed to the having to transmute for it.
Yep.
That's a pretty good card in the deck, the transmute thing, because you can transmute to Cord for Cord as well. That's
sure, that's a 3-drop. Yeah.
And he might be on the 1 island hour again.
I think that's a land on his left, isn't it?
Couldn't quite tell. No, it looks like both players are going to 6.
Well, I think my guess is that Andrew Mulligan's better than Eldrazi Tron, but you never know. Eldrazi Tron has such bad hands.
I don't know. I feel like Andy has a lot of just like
a lot of garbage
in his deck. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, so does Eldrazi Tron.
Yeah. I mean, sure, but it's not quite as bad.
I'd
much rather have a Matter Shaper than a 2/2 that makes 1/1s.
Yeah, I guess. It's just that once you get down to 6 in Eldrazi Tron, and especially 5, you sort of have to have a temple or the ability to reasonably assemble Tron.
Sure. And
if you don't have a temple and no capability of assembling Tron, you just have some of the worst hands in the game of Modern Magic.
Right.
But we'll see what Nick comes up with. He could just have the turn 3 natural Tron like they always do.
Yeah. Tends to be that way.
Oh, these black sleeves. Look at where Andrews placed his deck on the board. It like blends into the.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like there's like a graphical area there almost.
It's like a
look
shadow.
At Andy's going to 5.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So Nick has a Tron land and
Cavern.
A map.
He has Cavern as well,
but no temple. So that's keepable though.
Oh, for sure. He's got Reality Smasher and Matter Shaper.
Well, except for that, but that cavern's not a temple though, so he's got. But he can search for a temple.
Right.
But that still only puts him at 4 mana. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's a fine hand. Unless you just draw like Karn, Ugin, all this dust in your next 3 turns. So I think that Andy can go off with relatively few cards, but at this point the problem is going to be having the mana to utilize any of them.
Right.
Is Intruder Alarm a 3 or 4 drop?
It's a 3 drop. That's why you transmuted.
Right, for 3, yeah. Yeah, this could be tough.
So we saw the ups and downs of this deck. It looks super clunky. This hand looks good for Andy. Actually, he has birds, and he has the mana to cast birds.
Yeah, it's for Forbidden Orchard, birds, Intruder Alarm. He can play Intruder Alarm on turn 2, and use the Forbidden Orchard to make to untap his own bird.
No, because the spirit will come and play before Intruder Alarm resolves.
Yeah, not that one, but on future turns.
Oh yeah. This is actually City of Brass.
Oh, City of Brass. Okay.
Here's birds.
So City of Brass not quite as good as Forbidden Orchard here.
So I think Nick does have a Warping Whale as well. You probably see that here. He's gonna pass. Interesting. I guess he's more thinking about the map than anything else.
So there is an Orchard.
Yeah,
so now you play an Intruder Alarm. Give your opponent a 1/1. On your next turn, you can make 5 mana. That's a second Forbidden Orchard. So you can actually make 6 mana. You can make 6
with the
mana.
second Orchard, yeah, that's really
You can
good.
make 6 mana on your next turn by using the untap triggers on the bird.
And you can chord for something.
Yeah, I think Andrew might just win here with this.
He might. Nick does have a Warping Whale in hand, though, so if he decides to use that, he can definitely just kill the bird, and that would definitely slow Andy down a lot.
Yeah,
but of course, if he's doing that, he's not playing Reality Smasher, so.
Sure, yeah. It's a tough call for Nick. Do you want to Smasher or take out the bird?
I think he still might need another land, too, for this Smasher. Oh, he has Thought, not Seer.
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
That's probably the play. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely looks like that's the line. Oh, of course, he couldn't have smashed it there regardless because he just played the Eldrazi Temple.
Right, yeah. He didn't have 2 temples. Untap the birds.
Sure. So we got Ether Vial, Chord, Orchard.
Yeah, so I guess he takes the Chord.
Nick does actually have a Pithing Needle now also. So we'll see if he names the right card. And, okay, Nick decides to attack with the Spirit.
Seems good. Okay, 3rd land, that's a Botanical Sanctum?
Yeah, that is not very good.
So, yeah, if you got 4 mana, Aether Vial, Orchard. Andrew needs a series of good top decks.
Well, this makes Chord live. Future Chords, I guess.
So Andy plays the Botanical Sanctum, plays the Aether Vial.
Creatures don't untap during their untap set. That's actually pretty relevant, right? Like, here's Reality Smasher. Andy can take 9 and then just...
Right, and then just not have them untap.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I guess if Nick has another creature, you can always untap them.
Yeah, though the Eldrazi Tron is not necessarily creature heavy. He does have a Matter Shaper in hand,
and Karn. But Karn is not coming.
Well, yeah, he's not casting that.
So Andy needs something relevant here. I think it's a
Kiora's Follower. So I think if you're Andy, you might have to. I wonder if you don't play the Kiora's Follower, thinking that your opponent might not have a creature, but he's gonna get blown out by the Matter Shaper either way. So.
Right, because then you have to chump with birds, and you go to 1.
Well, but in Andy's mind, he doesn't know his opponent has Matter Shaper.
Right.
So.
No, I mean, even if, regardless, he's going to have to chump with birds and go to 1. If he played the Kiora's Follower, I mean. So he does have Matter Shaper. Really? He just conceded there?
Yeah, because Nick got to untap with a 5.
Yeah, but so you chump Thought Nuts here, you go to...
Yeah, but Andrew was at 6 life, right?
1. He was at 7. You go to 1. Well, I mean, assuming maybe he was at 6. Our scoreboard said 7.
I think he was at 6, but...
Okay. He was at 7. Yeah, I don't know.
If he wasn't 7, Andrew probably also knows that he doesn't have any live.
Right.
top
I guess
decks to win.
all of his win conditions take a turn because they have summoning sickness.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the ones that he would have to use as Forbidden Orchards for mana, which would untap his opponent's creatures.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we saw the like I said, the super clunkiness of the deck, and then
Molda 5 was not great there.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean,
that was a pretty strong Molda 5 though. If Andy
it was a great hand, but yeah, the Thought Knot from Nick really punishes a Molda 5 like that.
For sure.
Andrew didn't have any other ways to combo. If he had redundant pieces, he could have lived through a Thought Knot, but well, there you have it, folks. Intruder Alarm, a very interesting card. Intruder Alarm decks have been around forever. They're as old as modern. But you never really see him. But Steward of Solidarity is a neat pickup for sure. So don't forget, pick up your Forbidden Orchards now.
With the other combos in Andy's deck card, because I think there's like ways to like mill your opponent out, ways to like gain infinite mana, a bunch of stuff like that.
I think a way to mill your opponent out would be, I don't think you'd play Alter the Brood or something, but that's not necessary, right? I mean, because you're
you can Winter Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah, but is that do you really bring in an Alter the Brood against the Ensnaring Bridge players?
All right, quick reminder before we go. So you saw posted in the chat earlier some links to buying T-shirts. So we have 2 pretty cool T-shirts you can buy. One says Bolt the Bird. It's got a cool little bird getting electrocuted on it, and another one is just our Top Deck Productions logo shirt. We get this nice blue and orange logo you see here. You can get that on a shirt or on a hoodie. So if you follow the link that was posted earlier, or you can go to the Facebook page. If you just search Top Deck Productions on Facebook, you'll be able to find it there. And you want to support us, you can get a pretty cool shirt. I think it's $20 for a shirt, so please do consider supporting us. That'll definitely help us get new content going. And if you follow us on YouTube or Facebook, you probably will have seen that we are having some different videos now on our YouTube, some deck techs and some sort of feature match type videos going up there, as well as articles now on topdeckproductions.com. So if you want any of that content, you can go there to check that out. So please consider doing that, and we will be back in about 20 minutes for round 3. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks.